What's up guys, Chica Palacio here for another video for you today. Hope you all have been doing well, I know I have. So recently I had the wonderful opportunity to watch a free advanced screening of a film that is coming out June 2nd called Boogeyman. You guys may have seen trailers of it, TV spots, whatever, but it's a new film coming out, directed by Rob Savage, who is the director of a film that was released in 2020 during the pandemic called Host. It was like a 57-minute film that took place entirely on a computer, kind of like in the same vein as Unfriended, but a lot better than Unfriended in my opinion. He also directed a film called Dashcam, which I have yet to see, but I hear good things, kind of, sort of. I know it's on Hulu, have yet to watch it. But just judging by the poster and the title of the film, I think it all takes place entirely on a dash cam camera, if I were to guess. And this is the third film that he has made, if I'm not mistaken, and it's called The Boogeyman. It's a film that he has directed that is, This is Rob's first attempt at making a film outside of the whole found footage genre. So this is his first attempt at making a horror film, that is released theatrically for a wider audience. And yeah, I got to see it early at an advanced screening at the Aero Theater in Santa Monica. It was really cool. We watched the film, we got to see a little Q&A with the director Rob Savage himself.
The first time I saw anything in the Aero Theater, it was a special screening of The Neverending Story like 12 years ago when I first moved to LA, and I have seen many special movies in this place, but tonight was special. It was great hearing everybody scream. Was there a question?
There are also two actors there that were in the film, Chris Messina and David Dastmalchian. David Dastmalchian. Anyways, those two guys were there, and yeah, they did a little Q&A session after the film. It was really cool. It was a fun experience. They even had this photo booth, as they called it, where it was just like a black box that was sitting outside of the theater. It was called the Boogeyman experience, and basically you would just walk into this box, and then you would just stand like within this tape area, and then there's a door in front of you with some candles lit up on the ground, and then the door slowly opens, and then a hand comes out and reaches out for you, and that was the experience. Honestly, it was kind of like whatever. I don't it was a cool prop, I guess, but yeah, I wasn't scared by any means. Anyways, yeah, so point being, I saw an advanced screening of The Boogeyman. I got to see it a few weeks early, so that's pretty cool. And I figured, why not share my thoughts with you guys and tell you what I thought about it. This film, The Boogeyman, is based off of a short story that is written by some super underground, writer that you may have never heard of named Stephen King. He's done a few things, I guess. I don't know, not too familiar with the guy. But anyways, this is a short story that he did, and this is a film adaptation of another one of his stories. The film follows a family of three. We have the father, who is played by Chris Messina, and his two daughters. One of them is like a younger daughter, the other one's a teenage daughter, who all did very good in the film, by the way. All the actors in here, I think, did a fantastic job and really helped carry like the weight of the film. I feel like if the actors weren't as good as they were, then the movie would easily not be as effective nor as good, but they all did really solid. Anyways, this family of three, they're kind of struggling. They're going through grief. The mother just passed away recently, and they're still kind of coping with that. They're still trying to adapt as a family without their mother in the picture. The father is a therapist. He is a therapist who works at home. He often has clients coming back and forth at his house. And then one day at the house, this random guy walks into the dad's office, and that man is none other than the polka dot guy from Suicide Squad, and he's also in like a shit ton of Denis Villeneuve movies. He's always in Denis Villeneuve movies, and he's always dying. He's always dead. He's always the dead guy. But yeah, he's a great actor. I love him in everything that I've seen him in, and yeah, and seeing him in person too, talking about the film, he's a really cool guy. I like him, and he's a good actor. So fuck yeah. But anyways, he comes into the dad's office because he's having problems. He brings up to the father that his kids recently passed away, and that he thinks that there's something going on much more sinister beneath the surface, behind his children's death, and it turns out that he thinks the fucking boogeyman got him. And at first they kind of just brush this guy off like, he's crazy, he's kind of mental, he just needs, psychiatric help or something. But it turns out that he accidentally may have potentially brought this boogeyman curse to this, family. Yeah, now they are experiencing weird things around the house, and there's some creepy shit going on, and oh no, spooky, there might be a boogeyman in the house. That's for you guys to find out when this film comes out on June 2nd.
Hey guys, it's me, Jacob. I'm just here for a quick brief interruption, if you don't mind. I'm just gonna real quick introduce today's sponsor for the video, and today's sponsor is Movie Palette. You may have heard of these guys, they're pretty cool. And I just figured I'll keep including them in my videos because they're a pretty cool company, So yeah, fucking why not? But Movie Palette, so who are these guys? So Movie Palette is a company that makes these canvas paintings based off of movies. And what they do is they choose the most common color of every scene in a movie, and they put it in chronological order from left to right, and yeah, it's fucking cool. The length of a stripe also represents the length of a scene in the movie, which is really cool, and it just kind of creates this really fucking neat image of just a burst of colors. And yeah, these are pretty neat. I recommend getting one if you're a movie fan, or if you know somebody who's a movie fan. I mean, this is a pretty cool gift. Fucking why not? But wait, that's not the most important thing. I'm not flipping you off, I promise you. I'm just pointing the middle finger to the camera. I have my own discount code. Yeah, you heard that right, Jacob15. If you go to checkout after you pick your movie palette at moviepalette.com, you can just go into the discount code and type in Jacob15 to get 15% off your order. Holy shit, that's a fucking great deal. Yeah, I mean, these guys are pretty fucking cool. If you like movies and you just like, canvas paintings, or if you just like to look at pretty colors, I mean, if you're any one of those people, then I think these are pretty cool gifts, and you should definitely think about getting one, and use my discount code so you can get some money off. But that's really it. That's all I have to talk about for you today. But yeah, that's it. Just go back to watching the Boogeyman. I'm talking about the Boogeyman. What are you doing fucking watching me go?
But yeah, the film mostly follows, the two daughters, the little girl and the teenage daughter, as they are experiencing weird things around the house. The father's absent most of the time because, he's just a working man, I guess. And they're struggling to, tell the father as well as other people that there might be a boogeyman in the house, but they're kids, so people don't really listen to them because they're fucking kids. And so yeah, that's the gist of the movie. It's honestly kind of standard. It's a very standard story. It's something that we've all seen before, especially recently with this surge of like elevated horror, as I like to call it, going around, like the Babadook, movies that follow a family that is grieving over a loved one's death, and then there's like a monster that takes on as a personification of that grief that they have to face, and it's kind of the same concept a little bit. Honestly, it is kind of something that we've already seen before. The film is very trope heavy, follows a lot of the same tropes and cliches of these, horror movies that we've seen many, many times. That being said, I think it's still very effective. I think it's very effective in its scares, in its jump scares. The film is also rated PG-13, which when I saw that, I was like, oof, no bueno. Usually when I see a horror film is rated PG-13, a part of me just kind of dies inside. But honestly, I think they utilize the PG-13 rating pretty effectively in here. There are some pretty dark moments in here that kind of took me by surprise, where I was like, wow, okay. I kind of forgot it was rated PG-13 for a minute, so that's a good thing. So it's one of the good PG-13 ones, I would say. A good PG-13 horror film that I really enjoy that also has a lot of similarities to this film is the first Insidious. I love that movie, and that's a PG-13 horror film that I think, really uses that PG-13 rating effectively. It's just as scary and effective without needing that R rating, and I feel like this movie's kind of been the same vein as that. I wouldn't worry too much about the PG-13 rating. Like I said, it's they do a good job at it. It does all the things that it needs to do, and it doesn't really need to add on to it. So yeah, it was good. It was good. It needed. As mentioned, I thought all the actors did a very good job. I think one of the film's strongest aspects is the dynamic between this family. We get to see a lot of how they interact with each other and how they are as a family, and it's done in a very realistic and efficient way that I think adds a lot to, the scares in the film, where when things are going wrong with this family, you kind of care a little bit more about them, because we got to see, their dynamic and their relationship with one another. And yeah, the family moments in this film were actually very, very well done. They were very sweet. They were very cute. It definitely added a lot of weight and emotion that I think the film desperately needed. And yeah, it nailed it for the most part. And yeah, there was some solid scares, some solid jump scares. not typically a jump scare guy, but there were some pretty okay ones that I did not mind at all in this film. I guess my biggest complaint would be, again, it's very trope heavy. There were a lot of moments and aspects in this film that I thought felt very tired. You can kind of expect what's to happen because we've seen this type of movie before, and then it does end up happening. You're kind of like, okay, I already expected that. There's definitely a few moments like that in the film that I think kind of brings it down just a little bit, but still, it's a really solid, really effective movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I say if you enjoy films like The Babadook and like Insidious, you know, that follows a family that is going through grief, that is going through some shit, and that there's like some evil presence that is underneath the surface of all this grief that they have to face, you know, it definitely falls in the same vein as those types of movies. So if you like those movies, you probably would enjoy this movie. It's a nice addition to those types of films. But it doesn't necessarily add anything new or extraordinary. But what it sets out to do, it does a good job. Another little nitpick that I had with the film, that I don't think is much of a spoiler. I mean, you expect there to be a boogeyman in this film, let's be honest. Like, the boogeyman itself could have had a lot more oomph to it. It could have been, you know, something a bit more, like, unique. I thought they could have done more with that character. I wanted to, you know, see more of that character. I wanted to be more scared by that character. It's just kind of like your typical, like, ooh, scary monster, you know? And, you know, nothing wrong with that per se. But, you know, I just kind of wanted something a bit more. That's really all my complaints for it. Aside from that, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought it was a very solid PG-13 horror film that I think is very much so worth checking out in theaters. I think Rob Savage did a great job, you know, directing, and, you know, you can tell that there's a voice behind the camera, and really that's all I ask for with these types of films, and that was definitely there. That was present, so that's cool. But yeah, The Boogeyman, pretty solid. Thoroughly enjoyed it. If I had to rate this film, I think I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. Very good for what it is. Again, it doesn't do anything new or extraordinary or refreshing, doesn't add anything to the horror genre, but yeah, what it sets out to do, it does a good job at it. It's a very fun watch. It's got some spooky scenes. I say it's a great, you know, option if you're with your friends and you want to go out and watch something at the movies that's, you know, pretty spooky. This is a great pick. I think Rob Savage has a lot of potential. I think he's a great director, but I would definitely like to see more of that potential in future projects with this guy, because I think he's got something, but I think he has yet to show us what that is, whatever it is. But I think he's got it. But yeah, I would like to see that, Rob. Let's fucking see it, dude. Let me see what you got. But it was a cool movie, and it was a cool experience, you know, getting to see it, you know, early and for free. You know, it was cool. It was cool. I'm glad I watched it. Thanks. So yeah, guys, The Boogeyman. So that's the film. That's my review. That's it. That's all I got for you today. That's all I have to say. I don't really have anything much else to say about it, to be honest with you. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. I'm gonna be fucking stay tuned.